Hey guys, today we're going to stay in mostly a half kneeling position. So what we're going to do is start with one knee up, one knee down. We're going to attack those hips a little bit. So I have my right leg up, my left leg down. I'm going to squeeze my left glute and push through. Not letting my back arch. Notice how I'm not going like this. I'm trying to keep my spine out of it, isolating my hip, squeeze the glute, drive forward. Then what we're going to do is get a double benefit out of it. I'm going to turn so you can see me better. I'm going to take this front leg and I'm going to turn those toes out laterally to my right side. And I'm going to lean into that knee, stretching out my knee, ankle, groin, right? You should feel that right down the center of the leg right there. Rocking in and out of it a couple of times, and then I'll come back to my forward. Squeezing this glute, now stretching out that left hip. Right, back to that side, stretching out that groin, knee, and ankle. Taking some nice deep breaths as we're doing it. We're going to go one more time through on our right leg. Squeezing the glute, breathing, opening up those hips that are in a constant flex position as we sit through our work days. Good, so we're going to put right knee down, left knee up. Same deal, I'm going to squeeze my right glute, push into my left knee, right? I'm not only getting a good hip stretch here on my right side, I'm also mobilizing my knee and ankle. If you're prone to tight ankles and knees, you might feel that as you're driving forward, right? Keeping the heel on the ground on that front leg. Then we're going to go to that adductor stretch on the left now. Toes are pointed out to my left, and I'm leaning laterally. Good, we're going to go back to the front. Squeezing that right glute to keep it in the hip. Not get it up in my back. Wide step out. Leaning into that left side now. Should feel good. Last time through. Good, and then lateral. Good, we're going to do a more intense hamstring stretch now. So same thing, one knee up. I'm going to put my hands on the ground and try to sit on my back heel, right? Keeping that front leg straight, okay? That stretch is pretty intense for a lot of people, so if you can't go all the way down, just get that leg straight. You'll probably know right about here if you're capable of going any further, right? If you're feeling it already, go ahead and keep it. If you can, sit back, get that good hamstring stretch through the back of the leg, keeping my toes at the sky. Breathing. Not thinking about work. We're going to go opposite leg up. Right, same idea, leg straight, and I'm going to sit back into that hip on the left, stretching out my left leg, my left hamstring, the back of my left leg, right? Should feel good, not bad. Right, remember what I said, if it's too intense, just stay in that half kneeling position, keep the leg straight, and you're still getting a real good stretch on the back of that leg. All right, we're going to go a little bit of a unique movement called a half kneel windmill. I'm going to face you for this. Okay, one knee up, one knee down. This position for a lot of people is balanced already, so take it easy. We're gonna get a good stretch in our obliques and our lats, and also kind of wake up some nerves because of the balance, right? So I'm gonna take left hand to the sky, okay? Take left hand, squeeze my right glute, right hand, excuse me, squeeze my right glute, and drop laterally down, right? Now, you might already be getting a stretch right through here as long as you're reaching at that sky and not letting the arm go up and over, right? Reaching. If we're capable, go to the elbow. Right? Now to get back up, I'm going to use my abdominals and my glutes. I'm also getting a lot of hip mobility here, right? As I go down to the right, my hips pushing to the left, sitting into that socket at a different angle, right? So we have two progressions here. We can be here, or we can be here. Good. I hope that feels good. If it feels bad, it's obviously a lot of stability in the core and back going on here. So any type of little twitching, go ahead and regress yourself, right? Hands, nice and simple, right? Let's switch legs. Aiming for around 10 each side. Now I'm gonna go right hand up, left hand down. Just start with my beginner movement to see how I feel. And then I'm gonna intensify it by going all the way to that elbow. I'm also getting a good groin stretch on my right leg right now as I drop down. stabilizing my shoulders, working my hips, my balance, stretching out my lats, waking my abs up, telling them to come hold this structure up, right? Instead of being lazy. All right, so this next one, same position, a little bit of strong adductor stretch. So I'm gonna put my right foot out to the side. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep the bottom of my foot down. Notice how my leg's straight. I'm gonna sit back into my hips now and run my hands forward to help me counterbalance. Good, getting that good stretch in the right groin, left hip, low back, right shoulders as I reach my hands forward. Taking a couple deep breaths. We're gonna rock out of it and switch legs, left leg out. Remember, we're trying to keep that left foot down. Drop back, getting that good stretch on my left side. Breathing through the movement. Stretching. Good? Should feel real good. Now, along with this, we're gonna go back to that groin one more time. So this is called a tactical frog. I'll show you a couple different views. We're going to go knees wide and feet together. Okay, that's that frog part, right? So this back here is that good hip opener stretch, especially women really like that one. What we're gonna do now is drop it forward to kind of take the hips into the hip socket into a different position. So I'm gonna go to my forearms to start, reaching ahead of me. Notice the longevity of my body. I'm not crunched up in a little ball. And then I'm gonna pick up my hips and drop them forward, stretching out those hip capsules. I'm gonna rock back and forth, being gentle on my body, not forcing it, just mobilizing the hips, pushing the glutes through the hole so I feel that good opening stretch on my pelvis. Good. Aim for 5 to 10 of those. Obviously, that's an intense stretch, so do it at your comfort. We're gonna go down one more time, sorry. We're gonna go into a half kneel position again and get our quads. So half kneel position, right leg up. Okay, so we're gonna stretch out our quad versus our hip. When I'm like this, I'm getting a stretch up in here, right? Especially if I squeeze my glute, but I wanna isolate it a little bit lower in my leg. So I'm gonna reach back, lift my bottom leg up and grab it with my hand. You might want a wall support here as I put my hand on the fireplace, right? You might want something to support yourself with. I'm gonna turn just to show you a different view. One leg up, right? I'm bracing myself on the wall. I'm reaching my hand back and squeezing that hip up. Excuse me, squeezing that lower leg up. Kicking myself in the butt, right? Bracing myself on the fireplace so I can really enjoy that stretch. I'm keeping my glute tight so that I'm not overusing my lower back, right? And if I squeeze my glute, it helps release that quad muscle in the front of the body. Breathing through. We've gotten that lower body pretty good at this point, right? So we're gonna go for upper body now. We're gonna go for a hand release push-up. Don't let that intimidate you. I'm gonna show you different regressive views. But the benefit of this movement is that I'm not only warming up my whole entire body in the front side like you would imagine a push-up does, I'm really activating my middle upper back, which is what we want to be stabilizing us when we're sitting at our computers or driving or on our cell phones, right? So kind of a double hit here, total body, and really getting that posterior chain as well. So I'm gonna have hands down. I'm gonna show you the regress version first. So I'm gonna keep my knees on the mat and then drop my hips forward, squeezing my glutes. Notice how my hands are still directly under my shoulders. I'm gonna go down as slow as I can with a 45-degree elbow angle in my elbow. When I'm fully rested on the ground, I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades together, lifting my hands off the ground. I'm gonna press back through. Exhale, that would be my beginner level. Squeeze the glutes the whole time. Progressive would be toes, knees up, right? Slow and controlled down through the push-up, 45-degree elbows. When I'm fully relaxed, squeeze those shoulder blades, right? If you can, go ahead and push yourself back up. If it's too hard when you're on the bottom position, just take yourself into that regress knees down, squeeze and lift, right? So version 1. Version 2, version 3. Make sense? I would aim to do 5 to 10 of those. Obviously, everyone's gonna be slightly different on the push-up capability, but that's a really great way to build your strength for push-ups as well. That should have definitely warmed up your upper body. All right, let's get a little spinal rotation before we wrap it up. So we're gonna go face down, okay? I'm gonna extend my arms out wide so I feel nice and supported. I'm gonna lift my right leg and kick it up and over. This is gonna feel different for everyone, so go at your own pace. You might only get here, that's okay. Everyone's mobility is different, but this is a fabulous low back stretch, opening up your lats, breathing through the movement. Right, really kind of mobilizing that low back. I'd aim for 5 on each side. That's called a scorpion. The cool thing about that stretch is that it puts your back into extension, really gets a good old stretch down that back, and a lot of people are really uncomfortable in a back stretch position. So good thing to challenge yourself with. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week.